Dan DeVeglia with Raise High TV, and I'm joined by new George Washington women's basketball head coach Jennifer Rizzotti, here to take your questions that you've submitted on social media using the Ask Rizzotti hashtag. Coach, you've been here for about a month in DC. You've had a little bit of chance to get settled down. Do you have a favorite part about DC since you've been here?
Well, seeing as anytime I'm here, I'm really only at the office in Smith Center. That's about it. I've been going back and forth just trying to get settled down, sell my house, and let my kids finish out school. So I haven't been able to explore a whole lot, but I do love being able to get up in the morning and go for a run and be a couple blocks away from the mall and be able to run around the monuments. It's a pretty awesome feature of working here.
Cedric asks,
oh,
and you might have answered this, do you have a new favorite restaurant in DC, or have you even had the chance to get out and explore the culinary culture we have here?
Of course, Cedric would ask that. I don't have a favorite spot yet. I did go to Founding Farmers, there you go, for breakfast, and it was amazing. So that would be a good spot for now. I'll have to work on my lunch and dinner spots, so I'll have to get back to you on that one, Cedric.
All right, we'll switch gears to basketball. Okay. After 17 years at Hartford, you're coming to a new place. What do you see as the biggest challenge, in the first couple months on the job?
I think just, the more that I can learn about George Washington and everything that it offers, the easier the job will get. So the challenge is just spending some time meeting with the coaches that work here, the staff that works here, exploring the campus. I got an admissions tour set up. So just making sure that we do everything we can to represent the university to our prospective student athletes and show them what a great place it is. And I don't want to miss anything. I think there's so much to offer every kid here as a student, as an athlete, and as a person especially. And so my biggest challenge is making sure that I cover all the bases and know what it is that this university offers the most, and being able to sell that to our future, George Washington women's basketball players.
Bob Pugash asked on Twitter, what's going to be the signature stamp that fans are going to recognize that really is going to set this apart as a Jennifer Rizzotti-led team?
Well, I feel like I'm very fortunate to be able to take over a successful program. It's not, every coach doesn't get to do that. A lot of times you have to rebuild when you're a new hire, and Jonathan left the program in great shape with tremendous people. The kids are really determined to work hard. They're really determined to take the next step of the program. And so I'm going to constantly be on them about their defense, about their effort, about all the things that we can control. That's what my career has been made about. I'm a 5'5" point guard that was somehow able to make my way into the professional ranks, and you do that with heart and work ethic and intelligence, and so I'm going to want my team to reflect those qualities.
How do you feel the transition's been for the returning players? Obviously a big adjustment, but as you said, they're coming off 3 successful seasons. How do you feel they are handling this new coach and new atmosphere and culture?
They've been amazing, to be honest with you. I couldn't have had an easier transition myself. I can't speak on their behalf for their transition, but as far as welcoming me here and being excited about what I have to bring to the table, and being ready to work from day one. I only had a few opportunities to work them out when I got the job, but I was really impressed with how hard they went and their intensity and their intelligence. And they've already set some pretty lofty goals, so I'm excited to help them accomplish those goals. So far transition's been great, but we haven't done a whole lot, so we'll see as time continues.
Speaking of goals and such, Sean Rose on Twitter asked, what are you going to have to do differently to get this team over the hump in the NCAA tournament and pick up a win and eventually move further?
It's funny, I know that was something that all the players expressed to me, was that that's something that they've thought about and they've talked about, and that excites me. As a coach, you want to have kids that set the bar high. You want to be able to help them meet those expectations and exceed them. So I'm glad that I'm coming into a culture where they're used to winning, but they're hungry to want more. I think winning in the NCAA tournament is a year-long preparation. It doesn't just happen the night you get announced for the bracket. It's how you prepare in the preseason. It's how your preseason practices go. It's who you schedule in your non-conference schedule. The opponents that you face, you want them as a coach to be the kind of opponents that you're going to face in the NCAA tournament, so your kids get that experience. And we will certainly do that. It's how you prepare in the Atlantic 10. I mean, you're talking about a league that has other NCAA tournament teams in it. So how do you prepare every night to go out and be a winner? And then it comes down to a little bit of luck sometimes and preparation, and that's the exciting part. Is I've been in the NCAA tournament twice as an 11 seed and beat the 6 seed, and it's fun to advance past that first round. You know, GW is certainly a place where that is very attainable, and in my mind, even more so. I think you look back to the heyday when Joe McEwen was here and what they were able to accomplish going regularly to the Sweet 16. I don't think that this team should think that they can't accomplish those kind of lofty goals. So it's going to take some time. It's going to take a lot of hard work and a lot of mental toughness to be able to accomplish that, but it seems like these kids are ready for it.
Nick asked on Twitter, with the graduation of Jonquel Jones, have we picked up any players that are going to be able to slide in and have help us back to the A10 championship and beyond? Players you can speak of at this time, of course.
Well, let's see, some 6'5", guard-skilled post players that lead the country in rebounding, not so much. But I do think that having a stretch last year where the team was able to play without her and experience success gives them a lot of confidence going into this year. We've got 2 incoming freshmen coming. Neither one of them will be Jonquel Jones, but I think they'll add some depth and some scoring that we'll need to replace that. We also added a grad transfer from Lehigh, Lexi Martins, who was averaged 13.5 rebounds a game last year in Division I. So you don't ever really replace a player like Jonquel. I don't even know that you replace a player like Lauren Chase. I mean, you have 2 kids that really were the face of the program for the last 3 years. But what we do have is a bunch of kids that are really determined to prove what they're made of. And I'm really excited to see, Kyra Washington's an all-conference post player. I'm excited to see what kind of senior year she can have. I think Brianna Cummings had a great sophomore year and is ready to really explode and be one of a top player in the Atlantic 10. I think Hannah and Shannon as rising seniors are kids that have played really, really important roles, and I'm going to really depend a lot on their toughness and leadership. So I think we have a lot of great pieces in place, and I'm not too worried about what this team can accomplish without the guys that graduated. We'll see.
Academics, obviously very important to you as a student athlete and also in your time at Hartford. You're also about to be inducted into the COSIDA Academic All-America Hall of Fame. George Washington, obviously a very strong academic institution. What kind of academic student athletes are you looking to bring in here? Because obviously a very demanding place as far as that goes. Well,
that was what attracted me to the job. I've made my, family is in Connecticut. I've made my name in that state as a player and then as a coach for 17 years, so it was going to take a lot to lure me away, but what George Washington has to offer kids intellectually, what they're able to accomplish on the court, and having that balance of also who they become as people, that's exactly what I was looking for. And I knew if I left Hartford I wanted to go to a place that had the best of everything, and that's what GW has. You can have a tremendous opportunity to prepare for life after college. You're going to be challenged in the classroom. You're going to be challenged as a person. And then most importantly, you're going to be challenged as a basketball player. And I want kids that are looking to step up to that challenge and that are eager to learn how to overcome, the obstacles that are put in their way. I think that we have a great support staff here, academically and athletically, that help our kids succeed and put them in a place where they can't be anything but successful. And that's what makes this place special, is it really touches every part of their life. And so yeah, I'm going to recruit kids that academically make, what they do in the classroom a priority, that want to represent our basketball program and our university in the right way, and that want to excel in everything that they do. Not just class studies, but not just basketball, but what they do in the community and who they are and what they represent.
We know the non-conference schedule, obviously still work in progress, won't be finalized for a few months. Celeste wanted to know, is any chance you'll be playing a game or two up in the Northeast in the New England region where you came from?
Oh, okay. Right now, I would say other than in conference, depending on who we play, either UMass, Fordham, URI. We don't have any non-conference games scheduled up there. We're fortunate enough to have Illinois and Stanford returning to play home games here at the Smith Center, which is exciting. We're working on some local rivalries, trying to get them on the schedule, and then we have a couple contracts that we have to return, either a home or an away game. But for the most part, other than the trip we're making down for a tournament in Florida, it's fairly regional, which I think is a good thing. We want to establish the recruiting base here in the DMV. We want kids to have lots of opportunities to see us play in the Maryland, DC, Virginia, and Philadelphia area. So I'm sure that there'll be some games up in the Northeast. Maybe they were particularly asking about whether we're going to play UConn or not, but I'm sure there'll be some games that we'll get up in the Northeast. But if not, we'll have opportunities for people to see us when we come up and play in conference.
All right, we have one more question for you. It's the grand finale and probably the biggest question of them all. Steve Wyman wants to know, if you challenged Coach Lonergan to a game of one-on-one, who's going to win?
Let's see, do you want me to give the honest answer or like the politically correct answer here? Because I am the newbie, so I don't want to really tick anybody off.
We're all about honesty here at George Washington.
Yeah,
You never told a lie.
I always bet on myself, so I guess that's my answer.
I'm going to bet on her too. Coach, thanks so much for joining us here on Raise High TV. We're going to have a lot more from Coach Rizzotti and the women's basketball program in the coming months, so be sure to stay tuned to GWsports.com as well as GW_WBB on Twitter. Coach, thanks so much.
Thank you.